Hello students, in today's video we are going to study about the versatile nature of carbon, and this topic is related to carbon compounds of class 10. Carbon compounds. So why the carbon is considered versatile in nature? Carbon is considered versatile in nature because it is the form and basis of all the living organisms, and many of the things we use or consume in our daily life are all based on carbon. So why the carbon has become so important in our life? The four main reasons behind the versatile nature of carbon are: first is called catenation. Catenation is a unique property in which carbon is self-linked with the other carbon atom by means of a covalent bond. That is a self-linking, self-combination. And this self-combination can give rise to long, straight, branched, cyclic, various types of structures. Straight chain, branch, cyclic, and there are variety of structures that can be formed by carbon linkages. So there are so many compounds that carbon has become a very important part of our daily life. And this property is considered as catenation. Although there are various other elements also which are having the valency of 4, but they are not able to show the catenation in such a manner as shown by carbon. And it is also one of the reasons that carbon chemistry has become separate branch known as organic chemistry. And this property of carbon is mainly due to the carbon is having a very small size. It is having a unique configuration, that is 2, 4, the 4 valence electron. It has the ability to form the bond in all the 4 directions, or it is a tetravalent in nature, by which means it is forming the bond single, double, triple, but the unique configuration of carbon makes it different. And there is a greater strength of carbon-carbon bond. These 3 properties makes carbon the ability to show the catenation. Similarly, silicon is also having the 4 valence electron, but the size of silicon is comparatively larger as compared to carbon. So this property becomes a unique feature in case of carbon. Now we can see that there are various methods by which we can draw the structures. For example, if all the carbons are linked in a straight chain, but since carbon is tetravalent, let us assume that all on these places hydrogen is present. Okay, so we can draw a straight chain structure in which carbon is bonded to carbon and it is given a linear form. We can also make it like this, that 3 carbons are placed in a straight line and 1 is placed in the form of branch. Okay, now this structure is not called as the straight line, but this is considered as the branched structure, in which on the main chain a carbon branch is also present. Now, what happens in case of the cyclic structure? In cyclic structure, closed group of carbon atoms is present. Closed, that is, if there are 3 carbon, they are present in a closed cyclic manner. So this is called cyclic compound of carbon. So carbon is able to show variety because carbon can link with carbon also, small size and tetravalent nature. Now let us come to some other important property of carbon. The second important very property of carbon is its ability to form the tetravalency. It can undergo formation of bonding with the other carbon or with other atoms, which can be monovalent also. So single bonded structure can be formed with the monovalent things. For example, H with Cl, with H it can form which is single bonded, and with Cl, chlorine, bromine. So tetravalency, the 4 sides, it is having the single bonds on it. But other than this, carbon can also undergo formation of multiple bond. So we have done in the beginning also that the covalent bonds can be a single, double or triple. Carbon can form single bond with the monovalent, but carbon can also undergo formation of multiple bonds. And what are multiple bonds? These are the double or triple bonded structures in which carbon is bonded to carbon either by using a double bond or a triple bond. It is not necessary that carbon makes a double bond with carbon only. It can make double bond with oxygen, with nitrogen, with sulfur. And the main thing is it is very small in size. It has ability to form the multiple bonds. Now the fourth very important property due to which carbon has become versatile in nature is isomerism. So what is isomerism? It is the phenomena in which The molecular formula is going to remain same, but there are two or more structures for the same formula. So it is going to have different properties also, because the structures are different. So the properties are also going to be different in nature. So isomerism is the formula in which for a given molecular formula, we are representing the various structural forms. The phenomena is isomerism, and the various forms obtained are known as isomers. For example, let us take an example of C4H10. C4H10, in case of C4H10, 4 carbons are linked to each other in the form of a single bonded linear way. Now, the other way by which I can draw it, we can draw 3 carbon in the straight chain and one of the carbon in the form of branch on the mid carbon. So in this case, although the formula in both the cases is same, but their properties are going to be different. So these are considered as isomers. C4H10 is known as butane. So students, these are considered as the isomers of butane. So the 4 main things by which carbon is showing the versatile nature is its catenation ability, its tetravalency, ability to form multiple bonds, and the other thing that it is showing is isomerism. So because of these properties, carbon becomes versatile in nature. So now coming to the other thing, that is the saturated and unsaturated compounds. The students, when carbon forms a single bond with the other carbon atom, then it is considered as a saturated compound. So a saturated compound is formed when a carbon bond is forming a single bonded with the other carbon atom. For example, 2 carbons are linked by a single bond. The formula is C2H6. 3 carbons are linked by a single bond with each other. The formula is C3H8. Now, if the carbon is bonded to carbon with the help of a double or a triple bond, then this is known as the unsaturated compound. For example, carbon is linked to carbon by a double bond. So in this case, the formula is C2H4. Remember here that the carbon is tetravalent in nature. So if 2 carbons are bonded by a double bond, then only 2 hydrogens have to be placed on each of the carbon. If there is a triple bond between the carbon, then only one of the carbon has to be placed on each of the carbon, because the tetravalency has to be maintained. So the formula becomes C2H2. So if carbon is bonded to carbon by a double bond, then it is called double bond, or a triple bond, then it is considered as unsaturated. But if it is bonded by a single bond, then it is considered as saturated carbon compound. Now the other thing is the cyclic compound. A cyclic compound, as we have discussed, that carbon can form chain, straight, and cyclic. Cyclic compounds are those in which carbon atoms are arranged in the form of a ring. So let us see that 3 carbons are arranged in the form of a ring, and to balance the tetravalency, each of the carbon is having 2 hydrogens, because on 2 sides it is having the bond. So 2 hydrogens are left over there. The formula is C3H6. And how it is known as? It is known as cyclo. It is called cyclo. For 3 carbon, we use the term prop. Cyclo, for 3 carbon, we use the term prop, and for single bond, we use the term ane. Cyclo, prop, ane. Now, in the similar way, we can have 6 carbon arranged in the form of hexagon. So it will be known as cyclo hex. Hex is for 6. And since there is a presence of a single bond, we call it as ane. Cyclohexane. Remember here that there are different prefixes which are used for the different number of carbon atom. In the next video, in which we will be doing the homologous series and nomenclature part, we will go in detail that which number of carbon is known by the which prefix. For example, 1 carbon is called meth, 2 carbon is called ith, but 3 carbon is called prop, 6 carbon is called hex, and if there is presence of a single bond, then we will call it as ane. And it is a saturated compound. Saturated because carbon is linked to carbon by a single bond. Now the last topic for today's video is unsaturated cyclic compound. So unsaturation is there. One of the example of unsaturated and cyclic, look here. The carbons are linked to each other in a cyclic manner. So one of the very important example here is benzene. In this case, the carbon, there are 6 carbon atoms total, and each of the carbon atom is linked to the other carbon atom by a alternate double and single bond. Alternate double and single bond, hexagon shape. Now each of the carbon is tetravalent in nature. So if there are 3 lines with each carbon, then on one place must be having the presence of H. Each of the carbon is tetravalent. So one of the carbon, each carbon in case of benzene is having one H. So the formula becomes C6H6. It is unsaturated in nature, and it is unsaturated cyclic compound, and this benzene is considered as the aromatic in nature. Aroma means smell. This is called the aromatic compounds. Compounds which contain one or more isolated or fused. Fused is linked with the other one. Fused benzene rings are called aromatic compounds. But remember here that the formula of benzene is C6H6, in which there is presence of 3 double bonds and 3 single bonds between the carbon atom in the alternate manner, one after the other. So saturated cyclic compound, we have studied the example of cyclohexane, 6 carbon linked with the single bond. And in case of the aromatic one, we have studied the example of benzene, where there is presence of a alternate double and single bond. So dear students, in this video, you have learned about versatile nature, saturated and unsaturated carbon compounds. In the next video, we will be doing homologous series and the starting of the nomenclature part. Till then, revise the things properly, stay safe, stay healthy.